I have maybe 4 or 5 takeaway messages. So number one, food and nutrition security has to be on the top of the G20 or G8 agenda, and beyond G20 and G8. In your National Congress debate, beyond the G20 countries, Africa, South Asia. So nutrition has to be equally important as food security. So not just a quantity of food, but nutritious food. So probably that's the number one message. We need to continue to mobilize support to agricultural and the nutrition programs. The second is the productivity, long-term productivity. I think why we faced 2007, 2008 food crisis, there were many factors. But the long-term decline in agricultural productivity because of long-term neglect of the agriculture sector, agriculture research, was probably the fundamental force behind the global food crisis. And number three, the food price volatility. Yes, Maximo's chart has shown that volatility has come down, but we have to make sure that these volatilities have to be controlled in the future, because both poor consumers and producers will suffer from price volatility. Price volatility affects everybody. And many instruments have been discussed here, so we need to continue to control biofuels. Even without subsidies, without any support policy, the biofuel will become economic and viable. So in this case, how can we make sure that the poor people's access to food, to nutritious food, will not be compromised when the oil price begins to rise to $150 or even $200 per barrel? So I'm very worried about that. Even without any subsidies, lots of food will be converted to fuels. The market speculations, although the evidence is not strong, but we do have to make sure that excessive market speculations have to be avoided by providing more transparent, more timely, accurate information. And number four, move to actions. We have heard that Maximo, Snyder, Joe, and Ray all said that, well, we have made some commitments in 2011, but we have made relatively little progress in terms of moving them to actions. We need to make sure that we should continue to monitor the progress. We need to make sure that these commitments will be met in the future. So finally, mutual accountability. So how can we really create a mutual accountability so the private sector makes sure that the government will provide an enabling environment for their investment? The public sector provides a good regulatory environment for the private sector to perform. The civil societies make sure the government will make their commitment. The private sector will indeed meet some sort of commitments they have made in various forums. The World Economic Forums, the B20. As Ray said it rightly, the B20 document actually is much better, more concrete. They have some real numbers over there. But we should make sure that they do move to the actions, to make sure that they are accountable. So who is going to make the private sector accountable? So I think research-supported evidence, neutral, independent evaluation of certain value chains, certain investment by the private sector will be very crucial. So IFPRI is committed to do that, to provide a neutral, independent evidence for stakeholders, decision makers, to really push the G20 agenda, G8 agenda, probably even beyond. Thank you very much. With that, let's give a round of applause for our speakers here.